Hi, I'm Scott All, psychic medium and channel, and today I want to talk to everyone, or at least discuss out-of-body experiences, because that's what really started this whole spiritual awakening for me. I can't exactly remember how I got into it, but I think I was reading about it first. Hi, Shannon. And I was really into dreams. I was journaling my dreams like crazy. And I've talked about this before on Facebook Live, but it's come up again, so I'm going to talk about it more. And I'll probably talk about it even more after this, if all goes well. But I decided to look into it more. But anyway, so I had my first, at that point I call it lucid dream, but I've got a theory about that. But anyway, I became awake during a dream. I had relatively... consciousness that was relatively equal to waking consciousness. I mean, it was, I've since discovered it's a little bit different, but I had waking consciousness during a dream, and then the dream changed into something else, and then I just went further and further along. But I'll give you one of my most pivotal moments. The two main ones, I've talked about them before as well. One was I was in a cul-de-sac and everything was covered in snow, and I became lucid. I became awake in the dream, like waking consciousness. So imagine you're in a cul-de-sac, everything's covered in snow, and you're just amazed that you know you're not in your body, you know that you're not in your bedroom, obviously. And so I went up to the snow on a light post and looked at it, and it was just, instead of snow, I was expecting to see just snow, but it was little crystals, multicolored crystals covering the lamppost, and everything that I thought was snow was actually crystals. And I was just in amazement. I was just like, oh my gosh, look at this, like a little kid just staring at a coffee cup or something, I was just like amazed. And then another, I think that was my first one, and then I have to go back in my notebooks and find out, but one that was really pivotal for me was I was in a dream, and everything was kind of murky. I was still dreaming, and the dream was about my current job, and excuse me, and my boss was in his office, and it didn't look like my actual job then, but it was supposed to be kind of like my job then, which was working in a photo lab for photographers. And I noticed that my boss was my dad. Like, my dad was playing the role of my boss. It caught my attention, and I became lucid. I became aware and awake at the same time in realizing this. And I wanted to cut the BS, so I said, clear the set, which is something that I did back then when I first started doing astral projecting. I said, clear the set, which means basically get rid of all the stuff that I'm not consciously controlling, that was there for the dreamscape until I became aware. And so I said, clear the set, and everything goes away, and then it's just me and standing with my dad. By the way, my dad passed away many years prior to this, so probably at least 5 to 6 years prior to this. And I'm sitting there staring at my dad, and he's staring at me, and he could not believe that I could see him. And I think that's what made me realize it was real, is that he was surprised. I would never, if I was to write a story about this, I would never write that he was surprised to see me because I was in the dream previous to that. It's just I became awake during the dream and then told the dream to go away by saying clear the set. And then he and I are just standing there, and we had a brief conversation, and I don't remember exactly what happened, but I started to lose lucidity, or my consciousness started to fade. And what it feels like is feels like falling asleep. When you lose consciousness during a astral projection or out-of-body experience, you start to feel like you're falling asleep, like it's hard to concentrate on things. Just imagine being really sleepy and hardly able to open your eyes. That's what it's like. I since learned that I could say keep alert, or say affirmations to get back into it, but sometimes it's just a struggle. And the problem is, if you think, oh, I'm falling asleep, then you do fall asleep, if that makes any sense. Fall asleep, you're, technically you're asleep in bed anyway, but you lose consciousness of that. So anyway, I met my dad, and my dad was healthy, and that was just really cool. Hello, Janet. And that changed everything. Those first few out of body experiences really changed my whole life, because I realized, number one, consciousness does not reside in the body. And I've read books and talked to other people, and the people who have had this experience feel the same way. So everyone has the same realization, is that consciousness does not exist outside the body. Whereas someone might say, well, you were just dreaming and just it was an alert dream, but there's something about it where this is, I definitely had full consciousness in some other realm. My body was back in the bed, and hi honey, and so that changed everything for me. So consciousness does not live in my body. My body does not. My consciousness does not live in my body. It's just more of a projection. That's the weird part, is trying to figure out what that's all about. I also realized I'll live on beyond my body. Number one, I saw my dad living on, and since then I've become a psychic medium. So I talk to people who have passed, but in a lucid dream or in an astral projection, it is way more real, way more vivid, extremely vivid. And so I know I'm going to live, but it wasn't even seeing my dad. Even before, I think the one before I saw my dad, I knew, wait a second, my body can die and I'm still someone outside of my body, which is totally cool. And then the other question is this world, the world we live in, this physical world, virtual just like the other one? Because the other one seems virtual. And the reason why it seems virtual is because when you think something, it happens right away. So as soon as you think something, you're there. So if you think of another place, you're there. If you think of your body, you're back in your body. If you think about being home, being in the physical, being on earth, you're back on earth. You're back in the physical. Wherever you think of, you go to immediately. So I think of the physical as basically the same, except you have this time-space agreement, that we have agreement that there's space between things, and it takes time to travel, and it takes time for things to kind of happen. So if you think of wanting a new car, you have to work on that. Whereas in the astral realm, you can think of a new car and be in it, and you could change it as you're in it too. So I think that that thought creates reality is true in the physical. It's just you have the perceived slowdown of time and the perception of distance. What else? Oh, yeah. So we're very much in control of ourselves in the astral. It's very obvious. So I think that applies here as well. We don't take credit for how much we are in control of our lives. No, we're not in control of other people, and we're not in control of the universe. But in what kind of world do we live in? What kind of experiences do we bring to ourselves? We are very much in control of that, and being out of the body has made me realize that for sure. Hi, Regina, how you doing? One thing I was using the astral world for and out-of-body experiences, which was unfortunate, was that I was using it for some escapism. So we can use it, we can use anything that way to escape. So I want to get back into this. That's what I want to talk about, is I'm getting back into this, and what am I going to do about it? I've decided that I'm going to not use it for escapism, of course. I have a nice life. And I want to use it to learn and to grow and to help other people. So as of last night, I did my first attempt. It did not work out, and I just got to get back into the kind of the cycle of thinking about having an astral projection and then accomplishing it and writing it down. So I'll let you know what happens. Feel free to comment on this. I'll answer back, even if you're not watching this live. I'll comment back and let me know about your experiences. And I'm gonna get off now. So have a great day, y'all. Bye.